Okay. So this post is about my class's topics for the pository essay for a final project. Let me just say, I'm very disappointed in my classmates for a couple of reasons. One of them is because I would say 70 to 80% of my class chose eating healthier and organic foods, or this for the topic. The second biggest topic was surgical implants, cosmetic surgery, that kind of thing. Are people really this self absorbed or have really that low self esteem that they can't find a more interesting topic? Or is it narcissism? Or is it they don't have an original thought process in their brain? I mean, there was only like 4 or 5 of us that chose something no one else in the class chose. Mine was criminal profiling and serial killers, the relationship between psychology and madness kind of deal. And another student in the class chose piercings. There was like 3 people who chose tattoos and piercings and culture. She's going to be analyzing the differences between how cultures view piercings and tattoos, which I found interesting also. I'm looking forward to, I'm going to ask her if she can send me a copy of that. And one other student chose media in the courtroom. This kind of interests me too. Another chose gas prices, which I can see. It's kind of predictable topic, in my opinion. And there was one more student who picked something else, but something to do with dog breeding, selective dog breeding or something like that. Their sex and how they have sex or some weird thing like that. But the reason I find the health, reason I found so many people picking more healthier eating and organic food as concerning is because don't they have anything else going on in their lives? I mean, there's so many issues going on in America and in people's personal lives that it's kind of strange that they're choosing this. I mean, there's family issues like how morals and politeness in our youth are becoming less and less, and I mean, why aren't they researching that? They're worried about their kids getting obese. Yeah, be worried about your kids getting obese, but it's not that hard of a topic to go and explore. I mean, tell them to eat some freaking carrots. Or, organic food. Just don't eat anything that doesn't say organic. It's not that difficult. I mean, my mom eats all organic food. It's not that fascinating. There's nothing special about it. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some... I mean, if you're going to do something with healthful eating, do vegetarians. Do, what's that other word? Vegans. Those are interesting, the reasons behind it. Not for your health. There's other areas of health that are worse off in America right now. Like depression is the second leading cause for disability. Actually, I think it's the first leading cause right now. And not only that, in 2004, the rate for for people who committed suicide was just as high as people who died together, people who died in the war and homicide combined. That's pretty bad if it was at the same level as that. I mean, that many people committed suicide in America. I mean, how many people died from homicide and war put together in a year? It's probably pretty bad right now in 2004. So for that, it kind of concerned me because, I mean, not only are those two concerns, in my opinion, there's also the war. There's certain things in the war, like when these people come home, are they going to be having benefits for psychological reasons? I mean, how many people from the other wars had psychological issues, and when they came home, they got no help? I knew someone who got no help for his issues, and he got really depressed when he came back from Iraq and wanted to kill himself. Also, there's educational things that are going on in America. And please don't take this as a racist comment. It's not, but... And, it's not just blacks, but how many people in America are living off of SSI for no reason? They don't have jobs. They're not trying to get jobs. They're not in school. They're not, having SSI but going to school at the same time to better themselves so they can get off of SSI. They're living off of it intentionally. They're not doing anything about getting off of it. I live on I have a mental health disability. I get SSI. But I'm in school right now. I've tried to go back to work. It didn't work out. It was too much. I'm not just sitting here taking their money and not doing anything about it. I'm trying to fix it so I don't have to live off of the government. There's people who, like the people who live in Newburgh, some of them, not all of them, but some of them have more and more babies to get more and more money. And here their kids are wearing designer clothes and everything, but their parents can't afford to pay rent or anything. And not just that, in Brooklyn, when I went to Job Corps here up in Delaware Valley, they took a lot of kids from the city, down in New York City, and from Brooklyn and the Bronx and everything, and brought them up here. These kids feel so trapped in their environment that they think drug dealing is the only way to survive. They don't see a way out of their community. And I gained a lot of their respect because I said to them, the government, society challenges you, they stick you in this box, they stereotype you, so why are you allowing them to? I'm like, it's your own fault that you won't get out of the drug dealing business, that you won't find a way out of that environment. It's not our fault or the government's fault that you're not getting out. You have a brain. You guys are very intelligent, obviously, if you can figure out ways to deal drugs and everything without getting caught. The only reason you're still living in the city and having to deal with that culture is because you're allowing yourself to. You're not doing anything to get out of it. And it is half of the faults of the people who are around them, like the teachers aren't giving them a good enough education or preparing them enough for what they need to know for life. I mean, and you would know what it also is concerning? The gang violence. I mean, when I was there, I never knew, I never really explored gangs that much. I didn't know what Bloods and Crips were, but I found out, they're kind of clashing gangs. They don't like each other much. And one of the guys who were up there that I knew, his friend was murdered. He was tied up with barbed wire, shot in the head 3 times, and mutilated or something like that. It was very strange, and it was very concerning because, why do they feel like some gang members, they don't want to be in the gang, but they don't feel like when I asked someone what's the point of joining a gang, I asked my class that because there's only really like maybe 10% of us in the school that were not from the city, that weren't African American or Hispanic. So I said to them, please tell me what it's like down there, because I have this stereotype in my head. I mean, it's not as bad as everybody else's, but living in Newburgh for a while, you only see the bad side. You don't see the good side. There is no good side. And in my school, even the kids that were black or African American or Hispanic, I didn't see the good side either, because it was kind of like they were trying to conform to that stereotype, and I found that very disappointing. I find when an African American gets themselves into a college, a very good college too, especially, and gets himself out of that environment in the city, I give them a lot more respect than I give myself, because that's got to be hard. So I asked them, why do you join gangs? They said, for protection. I'm like, what is so dangerous? What made living in the city so dangerous for you guys that you have to join these gangs where if you try to leave them, you get shot and killed? It just doesn't make sense to me. It also doesn't make sense to me how they live. I mean, they have such big goals in their head. They really do. They have dreams, they have goals, but they don't do anything to work towards them. And, it really concerned me because the people that were there, they wanted to get out of there. That's why they came to that school. They wanted to get their high school diploma. They wanted to find a good job. They weren't just sitting down in the city and the ghetto, dealing drugs and stuff. They were trying to get out. So, I mean, the people who are still in the city who don't do anything to get out of that lifestyle, there must be something wrong with them. But, so that's why I don't understand why people chose healthy eating and stuff, because it just doesn't make sense to me. There's bigger issues out there in the world right now and in our own individual lives. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of them have family issues going on. They could be studying the psychological effects of fighting parents on children. Maybe I just think too much, and I also overanalyze things, or that I'm just too smart for my own good. I don't know. I would like to not think it's because I'm too smart for my own good, because I know I'm not as intelligent as some people out there. Some of the people in the class speak better than me. They're more coherent than I am when they write things in their posts.